Welcome to episode 3 of the Kanye West Blueprint series. This episode we're covering Yeezus. Oh my god! So right here we're looking for a second sample on track clip. I was like, that's it, that's exactly what we need for this beat. They hadn't even started working on Yeezus yet, so the fact that you made it back then as well, maybe you even had something to do with inspiring the album. Yo, what's good boys, and welcome to episode 3 of the Kanye West Blueprint series. The series in which we take a look at all of Kanye's albums and then make a beat, like something on those albums, and show you guys how you could do the same. If you're new to this channel and you're not already subscribed, we do this kind of thing every single week, so if you don't want to miss out on that, then do me a favor and hit the subscribe button down below, and maybe even hit the bell icon too if you're feeling extra spicy. This episode of the Blueprint is sponsored by Tracklib, but we will get more into that later on. For now, we're going to start the video in just a sec, but before we do, I just want to announce that we are releasing a brand new sound kit library very soon. However, there are only limited copies of this kit available, so if you do want to be in with a chance of getting your hands on it, then my recommendation is you click the link below and join the waiting list for this kit. Not only are you going to be notified once the kit releases, number one, number two, you're going to get access to a bunch of content, including the demo versions of all the kits inside this new kit bundle. So you're going to get to try like 10% of the sounds for free right now. All you got to do is click the link down below and spend 10 seconds of your time signing up, and that's it. Click the link down below, sign up right now. But yeah, without any more talking, let's get straight into this episode of the Blueprint. Yeezus is Kanye's 6th studio album, released back in mid-2013. In my opinion, Yeezus is Kanye's most experimental album, combining classic sampling techniques with the modern EDM sound to create an entirely new canvas for Kanye to paint his masterpiece onto. The track Bound 2 perfectly illustrates this, as Kanye samples the 70s soul track Bound, bringing a nostalgic hip-hop feel to the track, combined with the EDM anthem Nobody to Love by Sigma, and blending them together perfectly. Then there are more obvious incorporations of the EDM style on tracks such as New Slaves and Blood on the Leaves, in which Kanye easily adds his vocals onto. I feel as though Yeezus was the album which helped propel Kanye from being simply Kanye the rapper to Kanye the designer, the artist, the innovator. Yeezus, being so different from his previous works, helped Kanye break new ground in music, and I believe there is a correlation between that and Kanye breaking into new industries such as the fashion world, when he was previously mocked for trying to do so by various people from the media. Coming off the back of the wildly successful album that was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Kanye had won back the support and the respect of the fans and media alike, proving he is an artist unlike anyone else. But with the Yeezus album, he was making a statement that he isn't trying to live up to people's expectations for his music anymore, creating one of the most unique and outrageous albums from a natively hip-hop artist. The key to achieving the sound that Kanye was going for with this album was collaboration. Working with some usual suspects such as Mike Dean, No ID and S1, combined with some fresh faces such as numerous French musicians including Daft Punk, Gustaffelstein and Brodinski. The album is said to be Kanye's least American album, with many of the songs on there being heavily influenced by the European electronic scene. What do you get when you combine those influences with Kanye's go-to sampling and instrumentation? Yeezus. In order to achieve the Yeezus sound, we need to combine these two genres, which actually go together better than I expected: the electronic scene and classic hip-hop, and all the characteristics that come with them. So starting off this beat, we're going to be using a sample from Tracklib. This one is by an artist called Willie West, or a band maybe, I don't even know. The track's called Willie Knows How. It's from 1961, and it is in the R&B/soul category. Exactly the type of thing Kanye would sample in his music and has done for years. And the sample sounds like this. Basically only sampled the vocal from this sample exclusively. We're going to be using a plugin called Lil Alter Boy from Sound Toys. I kind of heard it a little bit higher up, so that's what we did with Lil Alter Boy. Sometimes And then we also added a reverb. And we started working on a chord progression with just a standard grand piano. So right here, we're just playing around with the sample a little bit, not really doing too much with it because kind of not the right chop at this point, but I didn't know that. But now watching back, this was definitely not the right chop. What we ended up with was way, way better. Second instrument we're going to add is going to be a brass from Contact. This is literally a standard Contact 5 preset. So right here, we're just adding some very basic drums. These are actually from Analog Colors, but if you want to preview Analog Colors properly and all the kits at once, then click the link down in the description and join the waiting list, because you can preview all the kits right now. So I also added this hi-hat, and it's kind of a bit crazy. It's a lot of triplet rolls and stuff, yet again inspired by Blood on the Leaves. And here we've just combined our piano and our brass section together to kind of see if they work together. I didn't even make them listen to each other. I made them completely separately, combined them together, and they work pretty well. So these are the sounds we're going to end up using for our drums. These are from S1's kit, the Yeezus drum kit. Obviously S1 worked on the Yeezus album, and we're actually going to talk to him at the end of this video just about his experience working on Yeezus, working with Kanye, etc. You know, just like we did in the My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy video. Shout out to S1 for sending me this kit, and he's also giving you guys a 20% off discount code. If you just click the link down below, use the discount code. Shout out to S1, legend. But yeah, these sounds are crazy, super aggressive, super hard, exactly what we're looking for this kind of beat. So I found this super aggressive sounding bass sound inside S1's drum kit. It fits really, really well. Exactly what I was looking for this beat, something really just like powerful. So I wanted to make the piano chords a little bit more hip-hop sounding. So what I did was I just took the chord, chopped it, and every bar, it works better with the drop rather than just the really prolonged chords. So right here, we're looking for a second sample on track clip. Now, the reason for that is because we're going for a mixture between Blood on the Leaves and Bound 2. But we're looking on track clip right now for that second sample, and we came across To Be in Love by Barrington Stewart. Let's me fly like the... If you guys like the sound of that sample flip and you want to give sampling some old records a try, then you gotta check out Tracklib. Tracklib is an online record store for sampling, providing a growing catalogue of over 80,000 original songs and multi-tracks to choose from. One of the best things about Tracklib is that you know 100% you can clear any sample on there very quickly and very cheaply. Take a look at how quick and easy it is to find a sample with Tracklib. You can look through the various collections put together for sampling like various big name producers and artists such as Drake, Pierre Bourne, DJ Premier, Tyler the Creator, Jay-Z and more. Or if you want to go into manual mode, just click on all tracks and start playing around with the sliders and different parameters to find the right sample for you. They are always adding and updating their sample library. Just the other day, they added the entire Kingsway library from Frank Dukes, a very well-known producer and sample maker. Someone Kanye has literally sampled on the song Real Friends on Life of Pablo.
The sample for Real Friends, I made it with no, expectation for anything. I think it might have been one of the first songs he dropped from Life of Pablo.
If you click the link down in the description, you can sign up to TrackLib today using my link, giving you a free 30-day trial and 15 download credits. So you can go ahead and start flipping 15 samples from Frank Dukes and make some crazy beats completely free. There's literally nothing to lose, because even if for some reason you don't like TrackLib, you can cancel the free trial at any point before the 31st day. A massive thank you to TrackLib for sponsoring this series of The Blueprint. Be sure to click my link down in the description and see what TrackLib can do for you. I decided to add a shaper box on there to kind of give it that sidechain kind of bounce, and also it helped to actually bring the sample in time. With these old samples, they're often not exactly on the line, so to help bring it in a little bit more and kind of hide the fact that it's a little bit out of key, out of time, adding a shaper box like this and this kind of effect is really great for that. So here's a little taste of the transition between our hard, aggressive, like EDM-ish style section into the soul chill sample. Check it out. Let's be fly like the eagle. Makes me cry when I don't know why. That's the way that you make me feel. So I didn't quite like how the sample was ending. I couldn't quite get an ending I liked. So what I did was I just chopped a portion near the end and just looped it over, and I think it sounds really good. So I wasn't happy with the original sample, like I told you guys. So I actually went back on TrackLib to find a new sample, and I ended up finding the same sample. There was like a 2-second point, but at the very start of the sample, which wasn't in that chop for some reason. So I missed that. I was like, that's it. That's exactly what we need for this beat. So we added that back in, basically. So with this piano melody, I felt like it was just a bit too basic. It was looping just the same 4 chords over. So I did a slightly different chord for the 5th chord. And also added some bass notes too, just to give it a little bit more depth. So I decided the brass was a bit lonely by itself, so I'm adding a trumpet now, or actually I think it was a French horn from Contact as well, same place, just kind of go along with that brass. So I found this drum loop inside of a Beat Butcher drum kit, and I just thought it would work really well for either an intro or to put underneath our soul sample on the breakdown. So that's what we're doing right now. So yeah, this is the drum loop we actually end up going with. I had to chop it a little bit to make it fit the bounce of the kind of piano on this sample. Let's be fly like the eagles fly. Finishing off with some risers and some drum loops, just to kind of make the transitions between the different parts of this beat a little bit smoother, and the beat is basically done. The video is not done yet. We are going to react to this beat together. So smooth, man. I made this beat like 3 weeks ago, so this is a legit reaction somewhat. Oh, it's gonna be so loud. Hold up. That brass is nice. Oh my god. Ooh. Nah, that drum loop came in so nice. Now reload that. Yeah, love it. That snare is amazing. So that is basically the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you liked the beat. I hope you learned something new. If you did, be sure to leave a like down below on this video. Let's get to 1,000 likes, and also subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We're super close to 40,000 subscribers. We're like 500 away or something like that. So make sure you check out 3 things that are going to change your life. I promise you. Number 1, check out Analog Colors, the waiting list below, down in the description. Click it. It takes literally 10 seconds of your time. Put in your name and your email, and you're on the waiting list. You're going to be notified when the kit comes out. You're going to get a free demo copy of all the kits you can try. So that's like 40 different sounds and presets for free instantly right now. So go ahead and sign up right now. Number 2, TrackLib. Click the link down below. Sign up. Free 30-day trial. You're welcome. 15 samples to flip. Are you mad? For free. For free. Right now. 15 free samples. Okay. And number 3, check out S1's Yeezus drum kit. The link is down below. All the links down below, man. Everything you need. That's episode 3 of the blueprint done. See me next Sunday for the 4th one. Do we cover 808s and heartbreaks? Late registration? Do we do Donda? Find out next week. I'll see you then. Peace. So I'm sat here right now with S1. He came and joined us in the first episode of the Kanye West Blueprint when we spoke about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And S1 did also work on the album Yeezus, which we're covering today. So appreciate it, S1.
Yes,
Thanks for giving me your time again.
Oh man, appreciate you having me, man. It's always good to just be able to just share.
Tell me a bit about Yeezus, how it came together, maybe some inspiration behind the album.
So what's crazy is a lot of people don't know is with the song that I got on Yeezus, I was of course working with Kanye a lot around that time, but the song that I did, which is Guilt Trip, that song was actually recorded and first created in Watch the Throne sessions. Because as you know, timeline wise, Watch the Throne was right before Yeezus was. This was one of those songs that we were just in the session creating, and it didn't make that project, but Kanye would always hit me up and be like, yo, don't do anything with this. I'm gonna find a home for it. So once he came around to recording Yeezus, he was like, yo, I'm using this for my album.
Okay, yeah, I remember seeing that actually. There was an interview from Travis Scott. Yeah, he said he got it from Hawaii, or he was working on it in Hawaii. I'm glad you brought that up because I actually forgot about that. Yeah, it did happen then.
Yeah. When I was working on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, like I was there for, I would say, at least 70% of working on the album. So everything was really themed out. You know, we had the inspiration around us from like different records and artists, movies that was on the screen in front of us. The atmosphere gave the theme of the album. Like I say, with Yeezus, I wasn't really in those sessions like that. It was just the inspiration from the Watch the Throne sessions kind of led into the creation of a lot of the Yeezus songs that he was doing. Mike Dean was one of the ones when we originally created it that came in, was like, yo, S, like, give me that joint right now. And we're literally in the studio with Kanye and Jay. I had my headphones on, I'm crafting that idea, And it was always moments in those sessions where Jay and Ye would look up at the producers that were there and be like, yo, what y'all got? So I remember taking my headphones off and playing that joint and seeing like them just wild out over it. And immediately Mike Dean walks up to me. He's like, yo, give me that joint right there. That's crazy. So I sent him the files. He goes in another room for about 15, 20 minutes. And then he comes back and he has these Moog sounds. He added that. And then Kanye immediately records the joint. Kanye was always pulling that up, listening to it in those sessions. I remember getting the email from him like, yo, don't do this. I'm going to find somewhere to use this record at because I love it.
It's amazing that Yeezus is the album that he chose to put that song on just because of how different it is to all his other music. Like it really must have been like a song that was completely like out there and just unique to him, that he felt like it belonged on Yeezus.
I totally agree because, you know, the Yeezus sound or the sound of the Yeezus project is strictly about sonics and just uniqueness, just trying things, experimentation.
I feel like maybe Yeezus was one of them albums that didn't register people right away.
You're right. I think just the overall consumer.
Yeah.
I think it didn't connect with them as much, but I think from a creative point, from a lot of producers I know, you know, musicians, and even some really dope artists, like they love that album. But I think it's because it's from the creative standpoint of, you know, I don't care what people think about this, I'm going to try this anyway. And that's what that album was. It was just artistic freedom.
I feel like it definitely changed the sound of music. And also I read that it was actually one of the first albums to ever go to #1 on the Billboard, primarily from streaming only. So
that's crazy.
So that just shows that album then has also not only progressed the sound, but also the way we consume music, which is just nuts.
That's so true.
The album's way more important than
realize that. But yeah, I can definitely see that though.
I don't think I asked you this in the last time we sat down, but what software were you using to make beats back then on the, you know, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy time?
It's so crazy. I was using Reason.
Okay, I've never used that.
I was using Reason. So all those older joints like Murder to Excellence from Watch the Throne and Power from My Beautiful Dark Twisted, and even Guilt Trip from Yeezus, I was using Reason. I think I was on Reason 4 at the time. Now it's Ableton is my main dog, but I jump in FL every now and then just to kind of change up the flow.
The last one I just wanted to ask you, man, is just like when you were creating the beat for Guilt Trip, what was kind of like your inspiration? Because obviously the beat is really unique and different to anything Kanye's made, especially at that time as well. Obviously they hadn't even started working on Yeezus yet, so the fact that you made it back then as well makes it even more kind of like special. Like maybe you even had something to do with inspiring the album, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, like what was your inspiration behind that record? Like, you know, what inspired you to get it to sound how it did?
I was really locked in that moment. You know, once I did Power, I was with Kanye a lot at that moment, and I would see what he would gravitate towards. Yeah, like just, you know, just textures and sonics and sounds, the types of samples. You know, so once I kind of got locked into that, I just went on this search for anything that was in that. So I had this little special folder, and I even do this sometime now, but I'll have this special folder where I'll literally just take weeks to just collect or create sounds or collect samples or make samples. So in this little special I had on Watch the Throne, everything in that folder, it may just be 50 to 75 sounds and samples or whatever, but everything in that will sonically fit what we are creating. Okay. You know, so I remember when I first started that joint, if you hear that beat, you can hear the piano, the dun 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 dun. And that was actually from I want to say it was just some pianos that I had made previously, and like just, you know, pitching it down to make it feel like it's from a record. Yeah. And then I chopped that up to just kind of rearrange the notes on it. So I think I did that first, and then after that I chopped the break for the drums. When I played it for them, it was the drums, it was that sample, I think it was the bass. So they heard it raw, but in that raw format. But then after that is when Mike Dean came, added the mood. And then after that is when Travis Scott redid the drums. And then of course Kid Cudi did the ad libs on it. So it really came out super dope.
Thanks so much for sitting down with me again and just giving us even more insight into, you know, working with Kanye and these special albums that have come out over the years. Let the people know where they can find you on Instagram and anything else.
Yeah, y'all go check me out. My social handles is at Symbolic One. That's SYMBOLYCONE. So follow me, and then you can go check out my kits, s1kits.com. Appreciate everyone.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you. Thanks so much for your time, bro. Have a great day.
Appreciate you, man.